Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Outdoor Adventure Masterclass, which is part of TTG Greece Fest. As you probably know by now, I'm Maddie, the Special Project Editor at TTG Media. I have three fantastic panelists with me today, so I'll introduce them all to you now. We have Rula Bora, who's co-owner at Masterculture, and that's a supplier offering ecotourism activities on the island of Chios. Also have with us today Joanna Demiri, Sales Director at Trekking Hellas Ionia, which is an outdoor adventure supplier operating out of the city of Ionia. We also have Nick Rashavitis, co-founder at Joysters, which offers tailor-made travel experiences in the lesser explored regions of northern Greece. During this masterclass, we're going to discuss the outdoor adventures that your clients can have in lesser visited and lesser known areas of Greece, as well as how suppliers are ensuring their operations don't have a harmful effect on the environments that they're visiting, which is, of course, always very important. At the end of this masterclass, we'll be moving into a live Q&A. That's going to be in around 20 minutes time or so, where you'll be able to put your own questions to today's panelists. So Rula, I'm going to come to you first and ask about Chios. Where is Chios in relation to other parts of Greece, and why exactly will it appeal to visitors from the UK and Ireland?
First of all, Maddie, thank you for the invitation and for the opportunity to introduce our destination. Chios Island is based in the North Aegean Sea. This is the fifth biggest island in Greece, the first in clarity and the third in sunshine. We are more than 51 inhabitants and keeping all year around the villages and the countryside alive. This is not very common in Greek islands, as you know. We have the uniqueness of the master production, which has been inscribed in UNESCO representative list, one of the intangible heritage of humanity. We have a rich and varied history, starting in ancient times. We are one of the Homer's birthplace. Since the 11th century, we have monuments like Neamoni Monastery from the Byzantine times. From 13th century, we have medieval towns like the famous Pyrgi village, which is famous as the painted village, Mesta village, Campos area, since the time that the Genoese occupied the island. And I believe that Chios Island is a small paradise where you can have more than 65 villages. Some of them, they are nearby the sea, and some of them hidden above the hills or under the hills, away from the sea. And we have more than 90 beaches. I would say sandy beaches, rocky beaches, secluded beaches, beaches where you cannot approach them, but only by the sea. We have everything. So I think it's a good opportunity for you to visit Chios Island, and I believe that you would like to come back again.
Brilliant. Okay, so Joanna, tell us a little more about Ionia and why that's a great base for visitors seeking outdoor adventures.
Thank you for the question. Firstly, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce Ionia and Epirus to the rest of the world. Ionia is actually a very old city, it's a centuries-old city on a beautiful lake in a ring of high mountains of Pindos and sunny beaches of the Ionian Sea. The city is located in northwestern Greece. Visitors can reach the town from Athens, Thessaloniki, Actium, and Corfu airports. The distances vary between 1.5 to 5 hours. Ionia has its own domestic airport, which is already welcoming charter flights from Scandinavia, Denmark, and Sweden. The city will also be connected in a few years' time through a new project, the Adriatic Road, which will connect Central Europe through Central Europe and the Balkans in just 9 hours. So yeah, the city is a great base for outdoor adventures. The high mountains are very close, the rivers are close, the gorges, and of course the sea, which is just 45 minutes away. We have a beautiful lake surrounding the city. Visitors can walk in cobblestone paths in the medieval castle, which is in the city center. and of course discover the rich tradition of the locals in silversmithing. So yeah, we also have many archaeological sites like Dodona and Nicopolis theaters. And of course, the city is also famous for its local delicacies, for the local pies and baklava as well.
Wow, lots to explore. Okay, thank you. So Nick, tell us more about these lesser known or secret regions of Greece that you're operating in. Tell us about them and what they have in store for visitors.
Glad to. First of all, hello everybody. I would love to introduce you to what we call the secret sort of paradise, or the secret gem in a way of Greece, which is the northern part of Greece, the least touristy area of the country. When we talk about the northern part of Greece, we talk about an area that extends from where Turkey is to the east, all the way to the Ionian Sea and the Adriatic to the west. And to the north, we've got Bulgaria, North Macedonia. North Macedonia, by the way, is a different country, not to be confused with Macedonia, which is a region in Greece, and Albania. So this is the area we're talking about for you to get your bearings right. So this is a place that has unique destinations. This is an area, for example, that personally I think offers the best food available in the country. Everybody knows Greece has wonderful food, Mediterranean cuisine, but imagine this area as an amalgamation of the South, the Balkan cuisine, and the Eastern coming from modern day Turkey or old Constantinople, Istanbul. So this is an amalgamation of the cuisine that you can actually find in the area. Also, we're talking about the best wineries and the best wine the area and the country can boast. Just to give you an idea, in the Western Macedonia region, which is very close to Thessaloniki, for example, which is the capital of northern Greece, you can find wineries that produce some of the finest wines in Europe. One of the best sparkling wines in Europe. And don't just take my word for it, you can Google it and find out more about it. So these are some of the places and some of the areas, not to mention, of course, the opportunities to go to places by the beach, which is close to Halkidiki area, and of course close to where Joanna said, which is the other side of northern Greece and reaches all the way to the Epirus region. So these are some of the areas and some of the secret and hidden gems that I was going to talk to you about.
Okay, great. I know you provided us with a video today to watch to show viewers today those regions, so let's take a look.
Hey, are you here already? I thought you were coming later. Anyway, come with me. Now, this is one of the mansions that we're bringing our guests at. This is where, if you ask me, culture meets aesthetics. Have a look. I really don't have much time, but I can give you a quick sneak peek inside. Follow me. All right, come on in, come on in. Welcome. This is one of the places you'll be visiting once in northern Greece with Joyce's. But I'll tell you more next time because I need to run. Sorry. Bye now.
Okay, fantastic. So Nick, what outdoor adventures can visitors have in these regions? Are you able to give us some examples of the most popular experiences you offer at Joyce's?
Gladly. As I mentioned before, we're talking about an area of unique natural beauty, and at the same time, an area that has lots of history and culture behind it. So imagine people, for example, moving from one area to the other, doing trekking in nature, or wine tasting outdoors, or even going and diving to find their favorite bottle of wine at the bottom of the sea. This is a unique experience that you don't, usually get to experience, right? So when we talk about outdoor adventure, we don't necessarily talk and only talk about, I don't know, experiences like whitewater rafting or riding, or as the Americans say, horseback riding, which I never understood why they say that. Anyway, it's horse riding. You always ride it on the back, right? So it's horse riding, and those kind of adventures. Yes, these can also be offered, but as we cater to the discerning traveler, that's what we do as an agency. We focus on the people who have traveled around the world and are very, very conscious of the experiences that they're interested in, and they're looking for unique experiences. I would say visits to special places like protected settlements, like the Matera area, which is a bit south, but still part of the area we cater for. So UNESCO heritage locations, protected locations, as I said before, and wine tasting, food on the outdoors. People cook for you, for example, in the middle of a forest. You go there on foot, you arrive after a long trek and you have a wonderful meal, or workshops that engage travelers to those kind of experiences. And of course, visits to specific locations and businesses that produce local produce. That is the most important factor, if you ask me, because it makes the whole experience authentic and real.
Okay, thank you. And Marula, what about in Chios? What kinds of outdoor adventure activities are you offering customers heading for the island? Can you talk us through the options and some of the highlights that you're offering?
What we are offering is that we have our own fleet of kayak sit and tops. So we have some tours in secluded beaches. What we have on Chios Island is a big hiking route of 92 kilometers for trekking. So we have a lot of tours by trekking. We have our own fleet with bicycles, city bicycles. So we have some tours to explore the country roads of Chios Island. And of course, you can have a sailing trip around the island, or you can have scuba diving lesson on Chios Island. But the most highlighted, I would say, is the mastic harvest experience, which is unique because we only have here the mastic harvest production. And this is an experience we provide as mastic producers because we are mastic producers, we are locals, and we demonstrate how we cultivate the tree in a traditional way with traditional tools. And we encourage the participants, the visitors of the island, to become a mastic producer for a while and to know what is this unique product.
Okay, great. So let's now take a look at some of the activities that you're offering at Masticulture in the quick video. Okay, and Joanna, coming back to you, what kinds of trekking trails do keen walkers have to choose from when they book one of your adventures? And are they suitable for all abilities?
Yeah, most of people who are most enthusiastic about trekking, they usually would go for the Vikos Gorge crossing. This is a very famous trekking trail. Also, the hiking up to the Dragon Lake of Timfi Mountain in Zagori is very famous as well. And of course, trails between the bridges and villages of Zagori. Through all those trails, visitors want to discover the life, discover the local life, local culture. They see traditional villages, stone main houses, and cobblestone paths. It's really beautiful. So yeah, the most famous trails are the ones I mentioned. But of course, we have trails for families as well, with young children, easier hikes. And I mean, the area is so big here, is so large. So people, I mean, depending on what they want to do and depending on their level, we can find anything, that suits them the best.
Okay, great. So you also have a quick video to show us today, I believe, that shows one of the trekking trails in the flesh, so you can see the sights for yourself. Let's press play. Okay, so Joanna, do you operate other types of tours and adventures as well as hiking? And if so, can you tell us a bit about them?
Yeah, of course. We also do rafting trips in Zagori and Jumeirka as well. We organize canyoning trips, again, for all levels, river trekking tours in the gorges of Zagori and Jumeirka, wine tasting experiences combined with easy hikes. We do picnics in nature, sea kayaking trips in the west coast of Epirus. We also do multi-day programs with soft adventure activities again, including accommodation in multiple destinations like Corfu, Lefkada, Epirus. We usually combine both destinations because most people want to enjoy both mountains and the sea, which is very close to our region.
Okay, fantastic. Lots to choose from for visitors then. It's brilliant. Okay, and coming back to you, Nick, I noticed you've got a sustainability policy on your website. Are you able to talk us through that and how you're ensuring the environments that you visit are protected from these potential harmful impacts that humans might have on the environment?
Well, sustainability is the future, and we really believe that this is the future of tourism as well. So what we do is we make sure we apply responsible standards, for example, in the area. But I would like you to think of this: sustainability is not just the environment, it is also the coexistence with the locals. So for example, making sure you cooperate with local businesses is part of the sustainability process, right? So we would, of course, be working with suppliers that respect this kind of approach, promote sound environmental practices, and at the same time, we will make sure that we cooperate with local restaurants, for example, that have local produce, with with hotels. Just to give you an idea, we don't necessarily send our travelers, as we would like to call them, instead of customers, to big chain hotels. That's not what we do. We usually cooperate with mansions that have been renovated with special accommodation in various areas in northern Greece. And we make sure that our travelers get the best authentic experience possible. So if everything is sourced, and I'm talking about food and wine, within 100 kilometers from where we are, if the locals are part of the experience we offer, and at the same time the suppliers meet the standards of environmental policies around the world, then this is the way forward for us, and that's the way we work. Now, if in the future, and that's a goal of ours, we manage to incorporate electric vehicles, for example, to move from one place to the other, that would be an add-on. And of course, this is what we're looking to add in the future. But this is the important thing, as I would like to highlight it once more. It's not just the environment, but it's also the immediate social environment, okay, which plays a very important role when it comes to sustainability. And this is what we would like to preserve and promote.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. And then Rula, coming back to you, I know you were keen to talk about if visitors want to explore further afield the kiosks. What are their options and what can they expect to find if they do base themselves in kiosks but want to explore a little further afield?
We have nearby islands. We have Psara Island, which is a dot in the Aegean Sea with a glorious history and incredible beauty. You see, Psara played a significant role in the revolutionary struggle of 1821. After Hydra and Spetses, Psara has formed the third largest fleet in Greece. And to go to Psara, we have a daily connection from Chios town, but also we have every Saturday a daily trip from the small port of Limia, which is in the north part of Chios Island. Then we also have another option, another dot in the Aegean Sea, Inousses Island. Inousses is a very famous island as an unusual cluster of successful ship owner families. Again, we have a daily connection with Inousses Island daily from Chios port, but also we have the ability to travel to Inousses from Lagada, which is a very small fish village in the central, I would say, Chios Island, by taxi boat. So you can approach the other island by taxi boat in 20 minutes or so. And the third option, I would say, is Turkey coast, which is less than 10 miles away from Chios port. We have 3 different companies connections, so you can go there on a daily trip, and you can visit either Izmir, or you can also visit ancient town of Ephesus, which is very important all over the world. So if you come on Chios Island, you don't have to stay necessarily on the island for more than a week. You have options to explore the area around you, and you can visit Greece and Asia at the same time.
Okay, great. So I've just got one more question for all of you now before we move on to the live Q&A where agents can ask their own questions. What's the best way to book these outdoor adventures that you've been talking about today? Should agents be coming directly to you on your website, or do you work with UK tour operators? Nick, shall I come back to you first for that one?
Yes, sure. I suggest you come to us directly, to be honest, by emailing us on info@joystes.co instead of com, or just fill in the form on the website and send us a question. I think this is the best way you can do that. Of course, there are ways to do it indirectly. There's a specific provider. Actually, it's not a provider. It's just a small agency, to be honest, that offers this kind of businesses of sort of trips to Greece that we cooperate with. But to be honest, the best possible way for the UK and Ireland in general would be to contact us directly. Okay,
great. And Joanna?
We at the moment we're working directly with travel agents and foreign international travelers as well. I agree with Nick. It's best to contact us directly. Also, if any agents who are watching this wonderful conversation would like to discover more about Epirus region, we would be happy to have them here for a fun trip to to get to know the unspoiled beauty of this wonderful place.
Okay, great. So to do that, they'd go to your website. Do you mind just sharing the URL?
Yeah, of course. It's www.trekking.gr, and our email address is ioanina@trekking.gr.
Fantastic, thank you. And Rula?
Yep.
As the previous guys, I would agree that the best ways to directly get in contact with us, our email address is info@masterculture.com. And up to now, we don't have someone, an agent in the UK or Ireland for outdoor activities. So we will be happy to also have a fun trip on Chios Island and to introduce you our beautiful destination. You are more than welcome here.
Fantastic. I know agents are always excited to hear about fam trips, so we'll be very happy to hear this. All right, that's just about all we've got time for in this section of the masterclass. Let's now move on to the live Q&A, where agents can ask the three of you their own questions. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining our Q&A. I hope you enjoyed our outdoor adventure masterclass. I've got Nick, Joanna and Rula here with me this morning to answer any questions that you might have. I know we've had a few through already, but please do pop any more in the chat box and we will get to them this morning. We've got 15 minutes to get through everything. So we've got a question from Lisa that was asking which UK suppliers can we book through, but I know that was the last question in the masterclass. So Lisa, if you didn't catch that, you can watch that on demand and you can skip to the last question and our panelists will have already answered that for you. Daryl has asked a good question. That's for you, Nick. He's asking, do you have to be a certified diver to do the Joysters tour where you dive to the bottom of the sea and picture a bottle of wine?
Well, hello everybody, by the way. I just saw the question. I can read it, by the way, so it's pretty easy for me to respond.
Fantastic.
No, the simple answer is no. You don't have to be a certified diver. This is tailor-made to everybody's needs. So if they are certified and they can go even deeper, that could be arranged, but there's no need to do that.
Okay, great, thank you. How deep is the wine, just out of interest?
How do I, sorry?
How deep is that, do they go?
It's where it needs to be for an amateur diver, which is around 6 meters.
Okay, great.
Five
Thank
to
you.
6 meters, yes. So that's the thing.
Lovely. And Keena's asking a question for you, Joanna. And what's the strength level for a hiking trail? Is that a hiking term that I'm not familiar with? Strength level?
Well, as I said in the video, there are all sorts of trails. I mean, we have trails for advanced hikers and trails for hikers who don't have, so much of an experience. But for example, if someone wishes to hike Vickers Gorge, the only prerequisite would be, a good physical condition, because the trek is like 12 kilometers. So yeah, good physical condition, no knee pain, and a good pair of broken-in hiking boots. Yeah, that's all you need, actually.
Okay, great. Seems simple enough. And Rula, I did want to ask you a question about the tours on Chios. Are they group tours or are they private tours? Do you offer a mixture of both? And if they are group tours, what's the group size?
Of course, we have group size. It's about 12 to 16, I would say. But because we don't have many groups arriving on Chios Island, usually we are the responsible person to make these groups. So we have individual tours, private tours, but we have tours for groups also.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Daryl's asking another question about that hiking trail, Joanna. How long does it take to complete, and what's the cost of the tour?
Of course, it usually takes about 7 to 8 hours to accomplish the whole trek. This depends always on our pace. I mean, it depends on the group, and the cost varies between. If it's for people joining the tour, it's for €50 per person, and the cost includes, of course, the local guide, which we provide, includes snacks with local delicacies like pies, etc. Hiking poles, backpacks if participants don't have their own, and of course the local transfer back to the starting location.
Okay, great. Would that be one of the longer treks that you offer, or do you do what's kind of the longest trek and then the shortest one to give agents a bit of an idea?
Yeah, this is one of the longest treks. I mean, daily treks. Yeah, the Vickers Gorge is a full day hike, is a full day program. Yeah, but then we have other trips like multi-day hiking trips. We go from village to village through the mountains, through old paths and trails. Yeah, so this is one of the longest ones, along with the Dragon Lake hike, which is, I mean, if you do it like as a daily tour, it's 10 hours, 9 to 10 hours in total. Yeah.
And kind of what's the longest trek in terms out of the multi-day ones? We're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5 days.
It depends. I mean, we can tailor made it to 10 days, to 7 days, 4 days. I mean, yeah.
Okay, great. Kina's also asking, do you offer accommodation before and after the hike? Is that something you package up for agents?
Yeah, of course, of course. We offer accommodation in local, in family-run hotels. Yeah, food as well. We can also arrange transportations. Yeah, we arrange everything. I mean, the whole package.
Fantastic, thanks. Daryl's asking about the wine tasting and the cost for that. Nick, that was one of yours, wasn't it? If I remember rightly.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Well,
Talk a little bit about that.
there's no minimum number in the sense that even one person can do that. But just bear in mind that the more the merrier, in a sense that it's nice to be in the company of friends when you're doing wine tasting. Okay, but it depends. It depends again on what you're doing. If it's like a simple wine tasting session, or if it's a VIP wine tasting session, that could vary. I mean, it could start, say, from, I don't know, 30 euros per person, go all the way to 150 euros per person if that's a very expensive VIP session that includes lots of labels. So, yeah.
Okay, great. I had another question there about the wine. What's the name and the type of the wine, if you know it?
Which one is he talking about? I guess he's talking about the bubbly one that I referred to the video, perhaps, right? Well, that's the. I'll give you the name of the domain. It's Karanikas domain. Okay, that is the name of the domain. But another, I'd say, variety of grape and wine that I suggest they look for is Xinomavro. It's spelled XI, but it's not pronounced Zinomavro. It's pronounced Xi, like KS, Xinomavro wine. That is probably the most prominent and unique Northern Greek wine variety that they should look for.
Okay, great, thank you. And Rula, we've had a lot of questions about child-friendly activities throughout TTG Greece Fest. Do you have any tours on kiosks that you would recommend for travellers visiting with young children or teenagers? Maybe just to highlight which ones would be the best experiences for agents to recommend to their customers?
The mastic tour, of course.
Fantastic.
The mastic tour, yes, because this is unique. You only have it here. And we run it with all the ages. We don't have permission about it. We don't say we don't have small children or adult people, these kind of things. We make specific groups depending if we have families or not. And then we might have a little more um, playing with the tools with the children when we have children.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. And what about solo travelers? Do you offer any tours for anyone traveling on their own? I know you said you got the private tours, but are there any group
We,
tours that are particularly well suited to solo travelers?
we also include them in our groups because we making these groups. We taking individual visitors from different hotels and we make them a group and then we organize a sailing trip or a kayak tour or a mastic tour. We make them in a group. We put them in a group.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. And Joanna, I know you mentioned previously that visitors can have picnics on your walks, and would that be traditional Greek cuisine? And can you talk a bit about the picnics and kind of what they look like?
Yeah, we actually provide. We can have some wine, local wine from Metzovo, for example, local cheese, and Zagori pies. The area of Zagori and Icarus is very famous um, for the pies. Everything is homemade, so yeah, we provide. We want to give the culture of food, to our visitors. So yeah, we think it's really nice, and people appreciate it very much. They really enjoy. I mean, when you're hiking Vickers Gorge, which is a demanding trek, you stop at a very nice point in the gorge, and then you enjoy, this very nice picnic. You have some rest, and then you continue. Yeah, we try to be as local as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Rula, Daryl's asking about this mastic experience. Is it taking place daily, or how frequent does it take place?
Usually the mastic tree cultivation is daily by the mastic producer. We run it as much as we have requests. We need at least 4 participants to run a tour. So we can have it daily or we can have it 3 times per week.
Okay. And is it
But
all
at
year
least
round?
but at least once to twice per week, at least.
Okay.
All
And
year
any
round,
oh,
yes.
yeah, it is. Fantastic. And
But the
Nick, do
mastic
you
tree the mastic tree cultivation actually is in the summertime.
right. Okay, great. So only in the summer can you go to Chios and do the mastic experience. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. And then Nick, are you able to talk a bit about how your tours vary throughout the seasons and throughout the year? Do you operate year round? Do you have some tours that are only available in the summer or only in the winter?
Well, in theory, we can operate all year round, but I suggest people visit Northern Macedonia, say from early April all the way to early November. That's the best season for people to sort of, enjoy a pleasant holiday. In the winter, it's really interesting for people who are a bit more used to harsh conditions, and we do have a couple of ski resorts. But I just want to be really honest with people. I mean, for the type of service and the level of service we offer, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. I know that the type of clientele that I'm talking about may be probably visiting the Alps or other centers in Europe. But we're still working on it. But apart from that, of course, if they're not, I don't know, ski lovers and they just want to enjoy the snow on the snow capped mountains and the villages in our area, yes, that is a must too. I mean, what better way to be in one of those wonderful, picturesque villages sipping some wine or even cognac or whiskey
Mhm.
while it's snowing outside. I think, and by the fireplace, that's fantastic, right? In the winter. So yeah, this could be offered too. But
Mhm.
as I said, to have the full array of the experiences we offer, then perhaps they need to come, say, at the beginning of April all the way to beginning of November.
Okay, great. And Joanna, what about Ionia? Are we able to talk about how the experiences vary throughout the seasons? Is it possible to trek all year round?
Well, yeah, it is possible to trek all year round. We operate all year round as well. We have activities based seasonally based activities. I mean, you can do canyoning in winter because it's very very cold and you got a lot of water in the gorge. So yeah, um, the whole area of Epirus region it's unique because you can actually see the 4 seasons. I mean, in autumn you have all those the leaves, the colors of the forests. All the leaves turning yellow, and then the leaves drop, and then you have winter. It's a bit cold actually, to be honest.
Okay.
We can operate activities in winter as well. We have daily rafting trips, and then in springtime the all the nature is blossoming. I mean, it's so wonderful to hike, to mountain bike, to explore, to do a sightseeing tour. I mean, it's wonderful. And then, of course, in the summer, yeah, we can do everything, absolutely everything in nature.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, brilliant.
people do not necessarily know that in northern Greece and where Joanna is, Epirus region as well, we pack lots of snow in the winter. They don't necessarily understand that when we talk about Greece. They think that just everything is like sea and sun. So yeah, they need to keep that in mind in the winter when they come to the area that is up the north, right?
Yeah. I'm sure us Brits aren't afraid of a bit of cold weather.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
used
pretty
to
sure.
it.
Pretty sure.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. That is just about all we've got time for today. So thank you, Nick, Joanna, and Rula for joining Q&A and answering Asia's
Thank you,
questions.
guys.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Bye-bye.
thank
Bye-bye.
you to everyone who has asked the questions. In terms of what's coming up next for TTG Greece Fest, we do have our wine tasting event in London this evening. So if you are attending that, please do enjoy. There's going to be loads of delicious Greek wines to try. And then tomorrow morning, we will continue with our virtual program, which is starting at 9:25. We have a training morning with 8 regional tourist boards. So I'll just list them quickly for you so you know what's coming up. We have Halkidiki, Central Greece, Zakynthos, Lesbos, Kos, Patmos Island, Skopelos Island, and Kefalonia. So these regional tourist boards will be giving PowerPoint presentations, and they'll also be answering your questions throughout their sessions as well. There will be competition questions in every one of those sessions tomorrow. So even more chances to win tomorrow. It's a bumper day for competition entries for you. We'll also then be finishing with the closing remarks where we'll announce the winners of the previous day's competition and what those prizes are. So do stick around to hear that and hear who is going to be visiting Greece and taking home some fab prizes. Please also remember that all the content from this week is available to watch on demand. So if you missed anything, it's all available back in the virtual lobby. You can watch whatever time works for you. And of course, there are the partner rooms as well, as you know, full of fast material and extra info. So do check those out. So thank you again, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Goodbye.